Well, the moment of truth is just a few weeks away, so we have to make sure we get you all the information so that you can make an informed decision. A busy weekend of political campaigning, full swing it was as the local government elections very quickly approach on the 1st of November. Parties using every available avenue to woo voters. So, independent political analyst Mr. Thabo Shole Mashao joining us. Hello, Thabo. Always a pleasure speaking to you. Were you impressed by what you saw the weekend? Anybody and any political parties stand out for you?
Well, Gareth, I would say that we've had quite a lot of the same, same script, different cast over and over again. There were some bit of changes a little bit, I think, this year, in a sense that parties now really focused on local government issues like water, electricity, fiber, and so on. So they did try to zoom into local government issues. In the previous, we heard more of a bigger idea, national policy directives. This time around, yes, they were looking into it. You know, the ANC building better communities together, and the ANC, as you have alluded earlier on, usually they are quite shy to reveal who would be their candidate for the position of mayor up until they secure the win. That's also not new. From 2011, we saw the same with Pakstau, and then 2016, and then this year again, they would be saying that. But that should not necessarily deter South Africans. I think what South Africans need to be looking out for is, for the past 5 years, have I been getting consistent electricity and water supply? Do my clinics really work around my neighborhood? The roads that I travel on, how are they? Am I, as far as wastage is concerned, is my waste being collected timeously? So we really need to focus on local issues as South Africans. But sadly, I think there are people who would nonetheless go with one party or the other without necessarily considering issues.
Yeah, I mean, this has been the biggest issue. I mean, you raised such a good point, just going with, you could almost call it a historical or habitual vote as well, despite all the manifestos that we have available to us. And my last question to you, Thabo, with the our viewer question this morning, we're asking the obvious question. Do you think that political parties can deliver on promises? Because it seems like a lot of promise making, but then we seem to go after the political parties again when nothing happens. Can they deliver? Is it realistic?
Well, to answer that question, and I'll try to be brief because you don't have time, but to answer that question, we'd have to judge political parties on their history, on their background, and what they've done in the past. And the big answer is a yes and no. Yes, in a sense that we did get some electricity. Was it consistent? Was it reliable? We did get some water, but to be honest, Gareth, there are many communities without clean running water. There are many communities without proper healthcare services where they are. There are many communities where we've seen potholes, where we've seen roads not even tarred. And I'm not talking outside Johannesburg or outside any urban areas. I am talking about right also inside those areas. So to be honest, political parties have failed South Africans more and more. And I think the emergence of independent candidates in this election will be a big factor to look out for, because it would be ordinary South Africans who are not party affiliated, whom South Africans will place their trust on. And we have to keep a very close eye on independent candidates in these local government elections.
I'm so glad you said that, because that was going to be my last question to you, but I'll leave it there. The independent candidates' vote is going to make such a difference. On the ground is what many people are saying could be the difference with the independent candidates. Independent political analyst, always a pleasure. Thabo Shole Mashao joining us here on eNCA.